also moving, like they are getting busier.
Yeah, of course.
Their demands are very different. I completely relate when you say that they don't arrange the bags like they used to, right? And because I think they overall, it's more like, why doesn't school cater to all the needs once the fees
So
are paid?
our biggest job is to produce the child.
Yeah.
After that, it's school's responsibility.
Yeah, I think more or less, yes, that's what.
Yes. So they're shifting the responsibilities. They're escaping. I would not say. See, the priority. Everything a human does is based on priority. Now, for my parent, their biggest priority was me becoming a CA.
Right.
My daughter's priority is not becoming a CA. My daughter's biggest priority, I think, is that I finish her 12th standard with reasonably good marks, because I did not pursue CA as a profession after becoming a CA, so I'm not forcing upon her. Now, see, the priorities change. So my parents were so much more particular than I am for my own child, even though I am an educationist.
Right.
My priorities have changed. Okay, so what is what the parent, so I think the parent have misplaced priority when they're focusing on fees. Their priority should be their child's upbringing. They should talk to their child, and if they cannot afford a school, they should go to a cheaper school, shift the school. There is always a cheaper school. Remember, government schools are free.
Yes, government schools. But again, there's a lot of bias for government schools also, right? So they don't, like, I don't want my child to study with 60 others. I want them to have a good education, and I don't think that everyone has a right view that government schools can have a best.
India as a country has the most highest level of spirituality.
Right.
Unfortunately, what we are looking at right now is materialistic dissatisfaction.
Yes.
So suppose I want to buy a car, I want to buy a big car, but when I go into the small lanes of the city, I want it to be small. Right. Now we have to be satisfied with what we are not getting. We cannot get everything. It is impossible, physically impossible, that a child gets the best education and the lowest fees. They will get, but then they will not get admission in that dream school.
Right.
That dream school will be like 1,000 students or 2,000 students or 5,000 students. But in Ahmedabad, we have like few lakhs students. So we have to be satisfied we are not getting. We will not get everything. We have to get terms with that.
Right.
And we have to know what we want to sacrifice.
Yes.
So I wanted to sacrifice. Suppose I buy a car. I wanted to sacrifice maintenance cost. I wanted to sacrifice. I didn't want to sacrifice maintenance and resale cost. I wanted to sacrifice. Okay, that it is not a very showy car. It is not a 1 in a million car. I'm okay with that. So we have to learn to sacrifice. Another thing, the biggest problem in education sector is that it keeps on changing. We don't have a stability. So few years ago, it was if you want to become a doctor in Gujarat, you had to be in Gujarat board Gujarati medium.
Yes.
Because the people who were assessing your papers were Gujarati teachers of Gujarat board.
Yes.
Today the rules have changed and it is not Gujarat board English medium. Now it is favoring central board. So okay, now again the moving target, it keeps on changing, is we are going towards a system of international exam. The admissions for colleges are not enough in India, so we want to send our child to US or Canada, and there we have a completely different set of assessment.
Yes.
So now I don't know, my child is, so in first standard I have to take admission in a school. I don't know 12 years later what will be the scenario, whether my child wants to be engineer, doctor or lawyer, or God knows. I don't know my economic status.
Right.
In India, economic status changes. I see so many people who were going on two-wheelers are right now in German cars.
Yes.
Luxury cars. So economic status changes. The admission process changes. Priorities change. We don't know about the child's preferences. So now in this all uncertainties, what I recommend to parents is focus on here and now. Focus on what is in their hands. Focus on the timetable tomorrow and arrange your bag.
Perfect. I think when you have so much of dynamic environment to deal with, data is the only thing that can predict or help you foresee the
Trends.
the trends, rather.
Yes. So when we are talking about here and now, we're talking about data, information,
Yes.
things like that. So what we're talking about is that okay, so we have a mobile app in which we give a lot of information. So what I see is data on how they use the mobile app.
Right.
So most parents use circular and assignments. They do not use other features like very often like health things. Like we have a clinic in the school, so they do not see how many times the child has visited the clinic.
Wait, there's a clinic in the school.
Yeah, so and we give the data of how when the child has visited the clinic and for what reason. So they know the trend on how
Yes.
what is the child's health overall doing.
Right.
Now, if the child has stomach pain a lot times, I would think they should take requisite care of
Right.
diet, and also it may be a psychological issue.
Yes, yes.
Because stomach is very sensitive, and if you have stress you get stomach aches and whatever. Now the point in data is that what we are seeing is that big data.
Yes.
Now at a school level we get access to big data. So like I have that access, parents do not have that access, teachers don't have access, only management of the school like principals and above directors have the access. So data, for example, is like I said, attendance data class wise. When I see a rapid fall of attendance in some particular class, usually the teachers are bad.
Right.
There is no other
There's no other excuse to
excuse.
that.
If you see by and large.
Yeah.
Another thing what we see usually is their exam outcome, the results in various tests, various attendance of tests. Also we also see on how students, parents, teachers meet, how kind of activities they do, what are their achievements, things like that. What we have found out as in a lifetime trend of a student. So here we are talking about a gross data of the entire school, then we do a drill down as to a particular student. So
Right.
for 5 years, so data till now was done year to year.
Right.
So as the student passes to a new standard, all the previous data was lost. It was recorded in a diary and it was gone to the recycling bin.
Okay.
But what now I have done with data is we carry forward the student. So if a student is studying for 5 years and today he has exhibited a major violent thing, done some crime or whatever, then we look at the student ID and we look at the all past 5 years data.
Right.
And we see that there has whether it is one-off incident or it was a regular, like the student is late to school, like is not submitted homework, like the parents never show up,
Right.
he is showing some problem in the clinic, has been visiting clinic too much, has been attending various activities, being proactive. Then we have anecdotal evidence where various teachers write. Everything is in one screen.
So it's like a behavior analysis in itself.
Historical
Right.
historical behavior analysis. So
Right.
counselor report also go in there,
Go in
special
there.
report, educators report also go in there. Everything is tagged with the student ID. And when we open that screen, and if a parent sits in front of me, I at times know more about the child than the parents themselves,
Whoa.
because parents forget,
Yeah.
but we
You cannot.
data doesn't forget or whatever. Once it's on internet it always stays. So once it's in our database it is always there. And what we do with that analysis is we can give a more personal experience to the parents that we really care about your child.
Right.
And when everybody, it's a team effort. I don't feed in all the data. Everybody at their time, from the doctor, counselor, special educator, class teacher,
Teachers,
subject
yeah.
teachers, everything. And we also put photo gallery in it. So what happens is when parents say, no, my child is very inactive, we look at the photos and we see that he's playing everything here. And we have proof.
Wow.
Photo can say a million words, we have proof. So they cannot deny it. And at times parents don't know because
Yeah.
what do parents do at home? There are two kinds of, so we have two kind of class of parents: paranoia,
Yeah.
paranoid mom,
Yeah.
and careless mom.
Careless. There are only two extremes.